Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Matter of Opinion. I'm your boy, Walls P.
And it's your girl, Tia.
And today we're going to be talking about Nick Cannon and how he's expecting baby number 8.
Wow.
So I know there's a sensitive topic to you, Tia. So you want to get us started on the topic?
Yeah. First of all, I don't like the term baby mama. So I guess we could say the fifth mother to his kids.
Yeah.
And, he, as you mentioned, he has 8 kids. Unfortunately, he just lost one of his children. But I don't know. I love Nick Cannon. Let me just put that out there. But I do feel a way. It's like he's procreating and making all these broken homes. And it's like you don't think about marrying the woman before you have the child or, anything like that. Like, I get it. Yeah.
I will say this. I think in a lot of cases with like some of these celebrities, I honestly don't think they're looking to get married, so to speak, because didn't she just come out of a marriage with Johnny Manziel, the football player? So right now she's probably not thinking about getting married, so to speak. But I do agree with you on the, not getting married and having kids and having all these broken homes or whatever. But I guess I'm looking at it from the emotional standpoint where he just had his child pass away.
Yeah.
So as a person that went through that before, where you have a child, whether it's a miscarriage or whatever the case may be, in a sense like that, as a parent, once that child is gone, it's like you go through the mindset of like, I need to replace this child. I mean, no child is replaceable, but that's the kind of mindset you have. It's like, yo, this child is gone, or if things didn't work out with this child, so let me try for another.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So I think that's where his mindset is on that aspect. But yes, I will agree. Child number 8, yeah, that is a lot, but I think that's where his mind state was at as far as that goes.
And then also, like, I think his last set of because remember, it was the lady that's the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot her name. Forgive me on that one. She just had a set of twins for him. It was the son that he just lost, and then it's the woman now who is actually one of his Wildin' Out girls who just announced her pregnancy. Like, all of these kids, I believe, are like under the age of 3, which means that he was pretty much messing with all of them at the same time. So, and granted, maybe this is just my simple mind. I get it. I'm not in his tax bracket, but I'm thinking of not only the broken homes, but then also, are you people worried about like possible diseases or, any health issues that may come from this? Like, that's pretty close in time. It's like he didn't even give himself a break.
Look, man, I'm gonna keep it 100. We're not gonna act like Nick Cannon at one point wasn't trending for that eggplant imprint. And when I saw in the comment section, all the women were going bananas.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Let's not act like they'll look at it like, yo, dude got money. He got his own show. Plus he's packing. Oh man, this is like a gold mine. Even with that being said, these women either gotta want kids or they're looking at it as, yo, this is my opportunity to get the bag. Because once you have a child by this man, it's like he's like, not to say he's forever indebted to you, but you pretty much see it as you're gonna be compensated or well taken care of, because at the end of the day, you do have his child.
Yeah, that's true.
So I can kind of see it where both of them are looking at it as, he's looking at it as, hey, I get a kid, and she's looking at it as, yo, I'm getting well taken care of. I guess for them it's a give and take relationship, but at the end of the day, it is setting up a lot of single parent homes, so to speak, or not traditional homes. And one of the worst things that's going on with society nowadays is a lot of kids growing up with single parents. So if I have anything negative about it, it's the way that it may affect the child. Now, not to say that all children that grow up in single parents' home are going to come out bad, but it definitely does decreases the number of success, like the percentage for success.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And the other thing is too, because I know people will probably correct us on this. I know it's a difference between what we typically think of a single parent home and in their case. Like, she'll have support. The way that it seems, because I follow Nick Cannon on Instagram, he definitely makes his rounds for the holidays. He's always there at his kids' birthdays, whether he's with the mother or not. So I will give him credit for that. But the other thing is too, and again, I want to point this out for your viewers, eat me up,
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that we also have to put the onus on these women. So, like you have mentioned, it's like, yeah, they probably saw the eggplant. They probably, see, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's worth millions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they see all of those things and it equals up dollar signs. Let's be honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, come on, women, we got to do better. Because at the end of the day, what are we showing to our daughters? Like, what message are we sending to our sons that, okay, this is acceptable behavior? I mean, let's just be honest. If this was, you know, regular person down the street that lived on our block and we saw, oh wow, she got pregnant by this guy and he has 5 other mothers and 8 other kids, we would clown her, we would talk about her,
Mm-hmm.
judge her. So I'm not saying we should judge these people, but at the same time, we also got to look at these women and say, all right, ladies, we got to do better. If we get with a man and we see that he already has 7 other kids, what about him makes you think, oh wow, I could be the eighth, I can give him the 8th child, or, oh, you have 5 baby mamas, I could be the 6th. Like, come on, we also have to smarten up and do better.
As far as men go, just constantly procreating and bringing kids on this earth, just because you have the financial wherewithal to be able to take care of the children, that still doesn't mean that you're giving that child the proper time that that child needs, that
Absolutely.
exact father figure, things of that nature that that child needs to grow up as a man. And I see it as sad as us men who go around impregnating women left to right and thinking it's cool. Like, that's not cool at all. There's a reason why women don't trust having kids with men, because it comes off as though men just, want to plant their seeds and not taking up the full responsibility. And they're the ones who wanted to go half on this child. At the end of the day, I don't see what's wrong with you men strapping it up, or make sure your pull-out game is strong, or whatever the case may be, because it's not cool to go around just making kids just for the sake of making kids. If you're in a traditional house setting, go all for it. But when you got all these different women, it's kind of hard to maintain. You can't have 2 masters. You can't obey or follow 2 masters. You can't have too many hands stirring the pot, because at the end of the day, it's going to head to a collision course, no matter how you slice it.
Mhm.
And even if you have your ducks in a row with these women or whatever, eventually, somehow, it's going to bump heads, no matter how you slice it. Men, we got to do better as far as taking care of our home, taking care of our children, and not just going around serial fornicating like that, making kids and thinking it's cool or whatever. And
No,
he's
you're
not the
absolutely
only
right.
artist
You're
or
right.
celebrity.
No,
There's
you're right.
multiple
You're
men that
right.
do this left to right. And it's now becoming like as
Common.
normal as drinking water or breathing in oxygen,
Exactly.
you
And
know?
you actually bring up a good point when you say it's other people who do this. And I wanted to bring up NBA young boy. Recently, he was going back and forth on social media with one of his kids' moms, actually 2 of them. One, because she made the comment that he allegedly signed over his rights as a parent, which he, vehemently denied. And
Mm-hmm.
then another child, I believe it was the son that he just recently had with a woman by the name of Arcola, I believe her name is. She was complaining about how he is as a dad, or should I say his lack thereof, being present in his son's life. But he actually made a comment on social media and said that he didn't even ask for the child. He pretty much told her that he didn't want the child and she continued to have it anyway. So my question to you is, how do you feel about that when, some men are in these situations? Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, at the end of the day, they should have strapped up. It takes 2. But what are your thoughts about that for the women who know that the man doesn't want to have the child, but they continue to have it?
At the end of the day, that's your bed. So you got to lay in it. You made that bed. You decided, yo, I want to go up in this chick raw, whatever the case may be. You automatically know what's the consequence.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So if she want to if she want to continue with having that child, it is what it is. It's like if you go up in a chick and you catch a STD, there's no taking it back. You knew what it was going into it, making that decision. It's
Absolutely.
no different when it comes to making a child. So
Absolutely. And I
you
feel the
just
same
gotta
way.
man up and do what you gotta do. And before you go on, here's something I want to say too. Is a lot I like a lot of these men who are going around making all these babies or whatever, right? I guarantee you a lot of them mindset will change if they're the one who has to be with the child 24/7.
Absolutely.
And there's no, passing them off to the babysitter. No. If you have to be with that child 24/7, I guarantee you your mindset will change on wanting to have an eighth, ninth, and 10th child. I promise you.
But you know what? When they're in that position of your Nick Cannon, your Future, your NBA YoungBoy, they have enough money where they can afford to pay somebody to watch their
No,
or
of course,
stuff like that. But I know what you're saying for like
yeah.
the average Joe Schmo who's not in that situation. I definitely agree with you. If the
Even,
shoe was on the other foot, they definitely wouldn't be making as many children.
yeah, even the ones who do have the money and the means of the money and the means, they still have that escape of the mother taking the child. If you don't have that escape, yes, you can have a sitter, whatever the case may be, but there's going to be times that that sitter is not available and you got to man up and you got to do what you got to do over an extended period of time. And then when that goes into messing with the other things that you want to do,
Oh yeah.
that's when reality is going to hit. That's what I'm trying to say. Right now, a lot of them have that scapegoat of, yeah, the mom will take care of her, the mom, babysitter. But when you don't have that out, that's when reality sink in. That's what I'm trying to say.
So let me also bring this to your attention
Mhm.
because, I always got to play my devil's advocate. I notice a lot of times with, social media, especially certain gurus, they always want to point out and blame the finger on the mother. The whole, oh, you should have known better. You should marry before you care, all these other things. And I rarely hear about people getting on the men for whatever reason it is. I get it again. It takes two, all of that. But my question is, if the mother is the one that elects to have the child, raise the child, why is it that society always bashes the parent that stays, but they never get on the parent that isn't present? And this can also go for single fathers. Again, people never get on the parent that, left. They only get on the parent that stayed.
Well, I don't think society get on men like that. Even if the man
I'm
is the one
glad you
that
said it.
stayed. No,
If I said it, they would have
society,
came
no,
on my neck.
society don't get on men like that. The reason why society get on women is like that because what is the thing that everybody say? Women control sex, men control marriage.
Hmm.
So if that child is born out of wedlock, if women are the gateway to sex, then that means that you control that. You allowed that to happen. So
Even
that's
though it
why I
takes
think a lot of women yes, I understand it takes two, but at the end of the day, if a woman says no glove, no love, and that's that, guess what? It's not happening. You're gonna have there's some type of protection. Now, of course, mistakes can happen, but if the woman put her foot down and be like, yo, you ain't smashing unless you put a condom on. What's his next option?
That's true.
Go to
But
the
what I'm
store.
saying is,
Mhm.
why does society though get on the parent that stayed? Like even if
Well,
a woman,
that's the thing. I thought I answered it because what I'm saying is society don't really get on men; they get on women.
but isn't that an issue though?
I'll say yes, it is an issue, but society's also looking at the aspect of women control sex. That's why women take more of the blame of it. You get what I'm saying? So I'm trying to see like what's a good example that I can. It's like if you're a boss at a company and you're allowing all your workers to come in late and production is slow and the whole nine, that's under your watch. You're the one who controls that facility, making sure everybody get on time, making sure everybody do what they got to do. If you're not doing that, the people aren't going to blame the workers. They're going to blame you because you're the one in
Because you're the
control of it.
boss. Yeah.
But yeah, you see what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
why the women get the bulk of the blame as opposed to the men. And another thing too is the reason why a lot of men who say they don't want to have the child, but the woman elect to go have the child, and then the woman will go put them on child support or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
is because they're like, okay, if I don't want the child and you want the child, you still could put me on child support. But if I want the child, you don't want the child, you can just go give the child away and you ain't got to pay no child support, whatever the case may be. Now, if the dad wants to fight and say, hey, I'll take custody of the child, cool. But at the end of the day, the woman has the option to completely wash their hands away with a child, no child support, no nothing. And a man does not have that option. She can put him on child support like it's nothing. Even if she lies and says that's your child, you signed that birth certificate, guess what? you legally saying, I take responsibility for this child. So if you come out and find out that the child's not yours and you're like, I don't want to take care of this child, guess what? You're still on the hook because you signed the birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So
And
that's
it's the
why,
same I hear for married people.
yeah.
Even if the child isn't yours because of the fact that you're married, you're still legally bound to that
Mm-hmm.
child,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah. So that's why I think women catch more of the backlash because men can get, not to say screwed over, but men got to go through leaps and bounds
Yeah.
to, get custody of a child, or if they want to have the child,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. So women, that's why I think women get more of the backlash than the men do, because women like monopolize, like
Mhm.
they totally control that. So I think
No, you're
that's why.
absolutely right. And even in the courts, they tend to rule more in our favor than they do for men, even if they are good stand-up guys who want to be there, who pay the child support, all of that
Mhm.
stuff. So I definitely understand where you're coming from.
But I will say this though. I don't believe that the women should get the vitriol like they do, because if that dude really wants to be in that child's life,
Yeah,
trust me, there's a lot of laws and protections for him to be in that child's life.
absolutely.
It's just, if they're not really about that life and really want to, take care of that child, then they just be lackadaisical about it. But
Mhm.
there is laws in place so that they can be in that child's life 100%.
And
So don't
you
get it
also
twisted.
you also bring up a good point too, because I mean, unless there's merit there, unless there's abuse there, like unless you really have some solid evidence,
Mm-hmm.
some ladies, I'm sorry, I gotta say it, you gotta stop keeping these children away from their father just because you're mad at them or because the relationship didn't work. Like I know of a person who's in that situation, and unfortunately, I mean, he still pays his child support, he even sends gifts, all of those things, but he can't get his child when he wants. They can't work out a mutual agreement or anything. It's literally on her terms, which is usually like if she wants to go out or if she wants to go on a trip, or it's
Mm-hmm.
literally like treating him like a babysitter in a
Mm-hmm.
sense. But he genuinely wants to be in a child's life, and they have been in and out of court, so he is definitely doing that. But I had to point that out
Yeah.
because we're not all innocent. There are some
Yeah.
women out
Yeah.
there who are doing some very vindictive things, and unfortunately it's the child that suffers.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully, Nick Cannon is doing the right thing, because I didn't hear anything about him, not taking care of his children or anything like that. So
No, I
at
haven't
least
heard
that's a
that,
good thing.
but
So
with, I believe, Alyssa, the one who had his son that just recently passed from cancer, I know
okay.
she did make a statement where she kind of indirectly talked about the fact that he announced that he has, another baby on the way when they
Mm-hmm.
literally just announced that they lost their son, and how it was a bit insensitive and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. But she credited some of her family and friends. She excluded his name, for being there for her and being supportive. But and I'm not taking away from how she feels, but it also brings me to my point of, ladies, you really can't complain when you know what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you already know you walked into the situation where he already has a certain amount of kids under a certain age, a certain amount of baby mamas, you really can't be mad at the fact that he's not there for you the way you want him to be, or things didn't even turn out the way you want it to be. It's kind of like you saw the red flags, the writing's on the
Mm-hmm.
wall. Not saying that there's anything wrong with Nick Cannon, to my knowledge, but we have to also stop walking into situations where the writing is clear as day and then we want to play victim afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We have to stop doing that.
I could agree. I could agree. Look, it's blamed to go all around, but at the end of the day, do what's best for you. Yeah, but
Wrap
I
it up.
still say wrap it up and stop creating these crazy five to 10 different baby mamas and all these different kids. Cut it out.
Exactly.
Cut it
And
out.
and the same thing with ladies, there are female condoms out there as well. There's birth control, many different versions of it. If you don't trust birth control for your own personal religious reasons, there are many other things that you can do to make sure that you do not end up in that situation. So I just want to make sure that you are all safe, because there are other things out here other than babies that you can catch. Okay. So I want to make sure that you all are alive and you're healthy.
Don't be blinded by
The eggplant.
the eggplant. Well, with that being said, let us know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think it's cool for men to be constantly making babies left to right with these women? Do you think these women should be allowing these men to have all these baby mamas into their life and then try and make a kid with them as well? Let us know what you think in the comment section. We would love to hear your take. Anything that you need to add on to the end before we close this video?
Yes, don't be blinded by the eggplant. That's it. That's my takeaway for today.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Matter of Opinion, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
It's a matter of